Desert formation. In the earlier lesson on the work of wind, we tried to know about the aeolian process, is how aeolian process is operated and what are the various landforms are produced by the action of wind. In this lesson, we will try to know about the characteristics of the deserts. Generally, when we think of desert, we will think of the hot and dry deserts of the world like Sahara Desert. Deserts can be seen in the cold climate also. The question here is that whether there are any similarities between the deserts found in the hot and cold climate. Do the formation of deserts all over the world are of similar nature? Here we try to explore the characteristics of the desert and their formation. The main aim of this lesson is to know the characteristics of the desert. Secondly, to understand the desert formation in different parts of the world, and also to know about different types of desert formation as produced by the wind action. To study the landform development in the aeolian cycle of erosion. Characteristics of the desert. No completely satisfactory definition of a desert have been proposed, but it is generally agreed that the most significant characteristics of the desert are scarcity of rainfall and vegetation. Generally, the term desert is used for an area which is not cultivated, unoccupied and is deserted by the people. Sometimes the term desert is used for the arid lands which may or may not be inhabited. About 30% of the land surface in the world is believed to be arid and semi-arid. The aridity in these regions is because of the different reasons which are mostly due to the climatic factors. Extreme aridity results in the formation of deserts, that is, where the moisture conditions are insufficient to support plant growth. Desert formation, therefore, mostly is related to the climatic factors. The rainfall in the desert areas is below 25 centimeters. Therefore, desert formation is associated with those areas which receives low rainfall and high temperature, and the ratio of evaporation to rainfall is very high. Deserts are characterized by absence of vegetation, scarcity of water, high range of daily and annual range of temperature, low humidity and meager amount of rainfall. These characteristics are present in greater or less amount in various types of deserts located in different parts of the world. Depending on the temperature and location, deserts could be hot or cold in nature. Desert formation. The great deserts of the world are formed by the natural processes over a long period of time. Deserts may form and expand in response to the climatic conditions. On the basis of location and formation, deserts of the world may be grouped into three classes. 1. Polar deserts, 2. Mid-latitude deserts, and 3. The tropical deserts. To a great extent, the locational factors influence the formation of the deserts. The location of the area or the latitude of a place determines the climate of a place, which in turn is mostly responsible for the formation of deserts. Polar deserts have no significance from the point of view of aeolian processes. They include the areas of polar ice sheets. The dryness or the drought of the polar deserts is called as physiological drought. Sufficient moisture is available in the ice sheets of Antarctica and interior Greenland for the plant growth, but it is not available for the growth of the plant because the ground is frozen. These are the areas of lowest temperature and low rainfall. No vegetation growth is possible in these areas. These areas are true cold deserts. In the southern hemisphere, the entire continent except for the coastal margins of Antarctica falls under this category. Polar deserts are associated with ice sheet or polar climate is found over most of the Greenland and Antarctica. The polar deserts are found between 70 to 90 degrees north and south of equator. Because of the low monthly mean temperature throughout the year, these areas are devoid of any type of vegetation. The precipitation is in the form of snow. Mid-latitude deserts. Mid-latitude deserts may be described as topographic deserts because they owe their existence either due to their location in the deep interior parts of the large continental masses or the presence of high mountains across the path of the prevailing winds. Moist wind do not reach these areas. When the wind descends the slope of the leeward side of the high mountains, they get warmed up and cannot cause rain. Besides, these winds do not contain much moisture. An example of a desert area resulting as a consequence of location in the interior of the continents is the desert of Turkestan and Gobi Desert of Mongolia. More commonly, mid-latitude deserts are a consequence of high mountain masses to the windward areas of the deserts. Example of such deserts are the Great Basin region of western United States and the lesser desert areas to the east of Andes Mountains in southern Argentina. Mid-latitude deserts are limited exclusively to the interior parts or regions of Eurasia and North America. The dry mid-latitude deserts are found between 35 to 50 degrees north and south of latitudes. The greatest expanse is in Eurasia, stretching from Central Asia to the Gobi Desert and Mongolia. In the central portion of this region lie the true desert of arid climate with very low precipitation. In North America, the dry western interior margins, including the Great Basin, Columbia Plateau, are the semi-arid type. The dry mid-latitude deserts are cold desert type. Low latitude desert. Low latitude hot deserts or the tropical deserts are formed due to some different condition. Their formation is related to general planetary circulation of atmosphere or the planetary wind system. These deserts are located around 25 to 30 degrees north and south of the equator. These are the latitudes of the subtropical high pressure belts or horse latitudes. The tropical high pressure belts or horse latitudes are more or less permanent areas of high pressure marked in general by the tropical calm area with subsiding air conditions. Such high pressure areas and subsiding air are not conducive for the rainfall. The winds descend down these latitudes and thus gets warmed up. This increases the capacity to hold greater moisture. Hence, these areas receives very scanty rainfall. Moreover, the winds flow outward from these high pressure areas due to anticyclonic conditions. Winds descend from above and they are heated up. With the result, moisture retaining capacity increases, resulting in marked decrease in relative humidity. Subtropical high system causes divergence of the surface winds, which is not suitable for the rainfall. Between 15 to 30 degrees north and south latitudes, the prevailing winds are trade winds. The direction of trade winds in the northern hemisphere is northeast, and in the southern hemisphere it is southeast. Trade winds are also called as tropical easterlies. These winds are onshore along the eastern margins of the continents. By the time they reach the interior parts and the western margins of the continent, they become dry and offshore. The offshore winds, being dry and with less humidity, give very meager amount of rainfall to the western margins of the continent. The trade winds spend most of their moisture through rainfall to the eastern margins of the continents, and as they reach the western margins of the continent, they become dry and hence unable to give rainfall. Tropical deserts are also called as trade wind deserts. The cold currents along the western margins of the continents also contribute to the aridity of these areas. These conditions are responsible for the formation or genesis of aridity or desert formation in the tropics. Tropical or subtropical deserts are also called as tropical hot deserts or low latitude deserts. The dry tropical deserts are found on the western margins of the continent. The global distribution of the dry tropical deserts has revealed that mostly they lie between 15 to 30 degrees north and south of the equator. The major hot desert regions are Sahara, Saudi Arabia, Iran, Thar, Californian Desert, Sonoran, Arizona, Atacama, Kalahari, Namib, etc. These deserts include some of the most arid and driest regions of the world. The tropical hot deserts record the highest temperature of the world. Rainfall in the deserts is scanty and erratic. Most of the precipitation of the tropical deserts is in the form of thunderstorm type or in the form of cloud burst. Formation of Thar Desert. The Thar Desert is considered to be one of the important deserts of the world. The desert extends from the west of the Aravallis to the western basin of Sindh. Punjab is situated in the north and Gujarat to the south of the desert. In India, this desert covers the state of Rajasthan. Many causes have been put forward to explain the formation of Thar Desert. Thar Desert is situated in the high pressure area where anticyclonic circulation of the air prevails. It is also influenced by the southwest monsoons. The formation of Thar Desert is attributed to the location of Aravalli Mountains parallel to the direction of southwest monsoon winds. Aravalli Mountains, therefore, are not capable of orographic lifting of the moisture-laden southwest monsoon winds. Besides, the hot and dry winds blowing from the western side of the Thar Desert absorbs the moisture content of the monsoon winds. The Thar Desert is dry hot desert which receives very scanty rainfall. The annual range of temperature is very high. Transverse sand dunes are found in the north and longitudinal sand dunes to the south of this desert. Many rivers once flowed into this desert and their remnants are still found. Types of desert. The effect of wind erosion, transportation and deposition produces three distinctive types of desert. One, the sandy desert. It is an undulating plain of sand. The sandy deserts in Sahara is called as 𝗪𝗏 and Qom in Turkestan. The largest sandy desert is 𝗪𝗏𝗃 in Arabia. Stony desert. The surface of stony desert is covered by angular stones, gravels and pebbles. It is called as reg in Algeria and serir in Libya and Egypt. Rocky desert. It is the desert in which the bedrock is exposed due to the removal of the sand. It is also called as Hamada in Sahara. It is characterized by extensive areas of bare rocks from which all fine materials have been removed by the deflation, while abrasion polishes and smoothes the rock surface. One of the largest Hamada is Hamada al-Hamra in Sahara of Libya. Aeolian or arid cycle of erosion. The concept of cycle of erosion is applicable to the fluvial processes. Naturally, the question arises if cycle of erosion is possible in the desert areas. According to Davis, a few concepts and features are not applicable in the desert areas. It may be pointed out that this concept is applicable only in case of mountain deserts and not in case of open low-level deserts. The landscape as produced in the Aeolian process of cycle of erosion in different stages is discussed as one. Youthful stage. The stage of youth starts when the basin surrounded by the mountains are uplifted. The floor of the basin is the local base level of the consequent rivers. Many rivers dried up before reaching the floor of the basin. In youth stage, the relief is maximum and the cycle progresses. There is progressive reduction in the relief. The initial stage of the mountain desert is characterized by the formation of intermountain basins, which becomes the base level of erosion. Alluvial fans are formed at the outer margins of the enclosed basins. That is, alluvial fans appear at the mouth of the valleys. Bajadas is formed due to the coalescence of several alluvial fans. Deflation becomes active wherever loose sand are available. Deflation causes smaller depressions known as blowouts. Playa lakes are found in the intermountain basins. Winds erode the slope of the mountains. The bases bearing streams and rills become the birth areas of wadis and canyons. Relief is remarkably reduced by the end of the youthful stage. Maturity stage. On account of scanty rainfall and progress from youth to maturity is slow. In mature stage, there is rapid reduction in the relief. The relief decreases rapidly because of progressive erosion of mountain divides and filling of enclosed basins. The progressive recession of the water divides increases the size of the enclosed basins. The sediments received after filling the higher basins begins to fill the lower basins. The level of the basins also rises because of the gradual sedimentation. Bajadas are further widened and extended in the upslope areas. Extensive rock cut sediments are formed between the receding mountain fronts and the Bajada zone. Mountain divides are breached due to their progressive recession. This process leads to the integration of the basins and the drainage system. The higher basins becomes tributary to the lower basins as the water of the former is drained into the latter by the streams, which have breached the divides between them. On account of coalescence of the basins, long slopes are formed. Deflation of sands by the wind becomes more active. This process results in the formation of desert pavements. Towards the end of the maturity stage, the playa lake starts drying up and the deflation halos are formed. In the maturity stage, the alluvial fans coalesce into bajadas and washes and wadis, and the desert pavements are formed. Playas and balsams are also visible in this stage. Old stage. All the highlands are reduced to almost plain surface of very low height. Numerous residual hills project above the general flat desert surface. These low hills are known as inselbergs or barn huts, which look like islands in the vast deserts. Inselbergs are formed because of their resistance to erosion and weathering process. Deflation process produces pediments, and several pediments are coalesced and form extensive pediplains. Wind-scoured halos and dunes become more numerous. The high mountains are eroded down, and as the result, the rainfall also decreases in the area. The importance of running water is greatly reduced. High peaks are eroded down and their remnants are represented by small knobs. The development of balsam is accelerated. Conclusion. The main characteristic of the deserts all over the world are scanty rainfall and vegetation, low humidity, aridity, high range of temperature, etc. Deserts are located in different parts of the world, some of which are hot and some of which are cold deserts. The reason for the desert formation is not the same all over the world. Polar deserts are formed due to the presence of perpetual snow-covered areas which do not support any type of vegetation, like in the interior part of the Antarctic region. The deserts in the mid-latitudes are mostly formed due to their interior locations. The tropical or the low-latitude deserts, which are mostly located along the western margins of the continents, are formed due to the trade winds, which are offshore along the western margins of the continents. And the western margins of the continents are also washed by the cold currents. The youthful stage of the arid cycle shows the presence of landforms such as alluvial fans, blowouts, etc. Bajadas, wadis, desert pavements develop during the maturity stage, whereas inselbergs, pediplains are typical landforms of the old stage.